I wanted to mention to have people prepare for, and it's something I deal with all the time, which is when you are submitting documents to USCIS or the State Department, just the US government for immigration purposes, they expect documents to look in a certain way. So if you bring a marriage certificate, they expect the marriage certificate or maybe the birth certificate to be in a certain way. And the way they break it down is if you go and type in visa reciprocity charts. This is the State Department's website that breaks down how documents should look like for every country. So you go to the visa reciprocity page for the Department of State, and there you look up the country you're coming from, and it has a breakdown of how certain documents should look like in those countries. And if your documents don't match, that's a problem. For example, in France, the birth certificates are issued by the local city council or something like that, and the national one, that's like a multi-language EU extract of a birth certificate, is not acceptable. They won't accept that. So typically you think this official-looking document from the government there is okay, but it's not. It has to be from the city. And you find that out by going to the visa reciprocity page for France or wherever country you're looking for, and then looking up the birth certificate factor. And that's something I do when we start a case with a client. First thing I do is see how the documents look like in their country. And this constantly changes and it gets updated. So even though I may have done 10 cases from China, I did 10 cases from Mexico, every time I have to double check to see if something has changed, how it looks, how they expect it. And so do that the same if you have your case, because you get RFEs, requests for evidence, and easily denials for not providing the document that looks the proper way that it should have. So you go to Visa Reciprocity, check it out, and sometimes I've had it where USCIS incorrectly says, oh, that's the wrong document, and I print out the Visa Reciprocity chart, highlight what it says is the correct document, and I'll resend that to them. I had this in a case of Ukraine where a woman got divorced, and the divorce certificate, there's two types. If you have a child, the divorce certificate for a Ukrainian person looks one way, but if you didn't have children, it looks another. And they had a child, so it looked one way, and we got an RFE, a request for evidence, saying it's the inappropriate, incorrect divorce certificate, and we had to respond back to show that the difference, how the divorce certificates look in that country for a child. So the individual cases here I'm talking about are just examples, but that's something to do to check how your documents are supposed to look like according to Visa Reciprocity chart, and if it's not it, then send it back or contact your local government or home government or wherever it is and say, hey, no, this isn't how it's supposed to look like, we need to correct it because it will be a problem down the line.